It's all good.
Is my hair okay?
Nope.
Nope. Is there anything I can do about it?
Nope.
Nope. Johnny, did you sit down? Okay. Well, John, we don't need any movement for here, okay? You understand?
I can adjust for that. I can adjust for that. All right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Rolling. Rolling.
We're rolling?
Rolling. Rolling.
Okay. So tonight we're going to go over yet another Bobby Fischer Grandmaster tournament position. This position here was played back in 1970. Can someone raise your hand and tell me what year Bobby Fischer became World Chess Champion? In fact, the only time an American ever became World Chess Champion. What year was that? John?
1972.
Right, 1972. This game was played 2 years before that happened. Bobby Fischer was playing his best chess leading up to the World Chess Championship. So we can analyze the position here. We should always look at the position. Quick question I like to ask the class. Is this an opening, middle game, or end game? Raise your hand. Braxton. This is an end game? This is a middle game? Maybe we should ask this, right? From a Grandmaster point of view, is this an opening, middle, or end game? Yes, Mark? Opening. A big clue is on your handout, it says, look for Black's move number 12. Black's 12th move. In Grandmaster games, openings can go. They can go deep into the position and still be considered a Grandmaster opening. So this really still is an opening. Some clues here, right? It's like both sides barely castle. Bobby Fischer playing the black pieces. Moved his rook over to e8. Notice that Black's queen has not moved. Black's queen 9 has not moved. Black's queen rook has not moved. And 3 of Black's pawns have not moved. Look at White's position. White's queen rook has not moved. White's queen has not moved. And 3 of White's pawns have not moved. So some clues here and there. If you did not know this was Black's 12th move, you can still probably guess just from the position. This is an opening. Not everything has developed yet. Speaking of development, we can talk about Grandmaster development points. So someone raise your hand and tell me, how many Grandmaster development points does White have? Come on, count them. How many Grandmaster development points does White have? Mark? 4. Well, let's count them. Both bishops, both knights, and White's castle. Usually we give a Grandmaster development point for castling. It's the only move in chess where we move 2 pieces in one move. You see Grandmasters castle very often in their chess games. There's no other move like castling, moving 2 pieces in one move. It's like getting 2 moves, right, for the price of 1. So we would say White has how many Grandmaster development points? Just tell me.
5.
We count the pieces, both the bishops, both the knights, and White's castle. That looks like 5, right? And it looks like 2 plus 2 plus 1 more. That's 5. White has 5 Grandmaster development points. Whoever is ahead of development has a positional advantage. Sometimes, often, an attacking advantage. How many Grandmaster development points does Black have? Count them. And raise your hand. John?
4.
4. Black has developed 3 of his 4 minor pieces. Remember, minor pieces are bishops and knights, major pieces are queens and rooks. So Black has developed 3 of his 4 minor pieces, and he's castled, and with the castle rook, moved it 1 more time. So this is almost like 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Right? It's almost like 4 and a half. So, but we normally say Black here has 4 Grandmaster development points, but it is his move. So Black can get even in Grandmaster development points by developing something he hasn't already developed. His queen knight, his queen rook, although there's not much the queen rook can do right now. So the likely pieces to move for development purposes is the queen knight and the queen. Make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. Any questions? Okay. Raise your hand if you see anything else interesting in this position. Without telling me any moves. Don't tell me any black moves. We're just analyzing D bishop. I see 4 bishops on the board.
The G4 bishop is
The G4 bishop.
attack.
Okay, right. So we can go throughout the board. Thank you, Parker. We can go throughout the entire position and see which pieces are under attack and which pieces are doing the attacking, right? So, black's situation, black's position, black has 1 chess man that's under attack. Well, there's another one over here, A6, but adequately developed by, protected by 3 black chessmen. But yeah, this bishop here, half of black's bishop pair is being attacked. So white's got an H3 pawn attacking a G4 black bishop. What else do we see there? Braxton.
The pawn on E4 is getting attacked by 2 pieces.
Hey, good deal. Sean, you with me? As we're analyzing, it's important to analyze some chess positions to think like a grandmaster, right? This is kind of like our Think Like a Grandmaster chess class series, right? We're trying to think like a grandmaster. So yes, Braxton, let me just go off camera and shake your hand for a moment. Thank you very much. I'll give you a class point for that. Did everybody see that white's pawn on E4, what sometimes called out the king pawn, is under attack by not 1 but 2 black chess pieces? That's the attacking side. Someone tell me, well, raise your hand and tell me about the defending side of the white E4 pawn. How many defenders does white have for white's king pawn or E4 pawn? Sean? 1. The knight on C3. And it's black's move. So, looking at our categories of moves here, we should look at all checks on the board, category 1. We should look for all category 2 capture moves. And then look for all category 3 new attacking moves that are not checks and not captures. Category 3 moves are the hardest to find. Category 1 check moves should be the easiest to find along with category 2 captures. So yeah, so on black's move, black could crash in on E4 and essentially be a category 2 capture move and a counter-attacking move, ignoring white's attack. Right? White moving his pawn from H2 to H3. And black's move, we need to analyze. Right? We're trying to analyze the position, come up with black's best moves. You give yourself candidate moves to consider. Pick one candidate move, think deep into the position as possible. Is there anything else you want to talk about in this position? Okay, so let's read the clue and giving Bruce Pandolfini his due. This is a Bruce Pandolfini clue for this position. Bruce Pandolfini says, black's bishop on G4 is attacked. Should black retreat it or capture the white knight on F3? Either one is hackneyed, if I'm saying that word right. Each one has its problems, right? So there's the clue. Now raise your hand and tell me what move you would play for Bobby Fischer on move 12 for black. Yes, John.
I would play knight takes pawn E4.
Wow. Knight captures the pawn on E4, going along with Braxton's idea, right? Black's got 2 pieces attacking E4. Normally we capture, for the first capture it, the target, with the weaker or cheaper or less important piece. So, in fact, that is exactly what Bobby Fischer did play. So, John, I need to owe you a class point. Knight captures the pawn on E4. Now, is there a question from the audience?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
If he was going to plan on doing that anyway, why not just go ahead and sack the bishop for the pawn, open up the king side, and then take, if he's going to do that anyway?
Yes, so we can do further analysis on other options, right? I mean, it was suggested that this bishop could capture the knight on F3. This will allow white to capture back with bishop or pawn, probably
Right.
bishop, and then have a second defender for white for the white E4 pawn.
Right.
Bobby Fischer didn't want that, clearly. Right, we've got a question or comment, please raise your hand. Bobby Fischer did not want a second defender for the white E4 pawn, And so once this pawn is gone, I may ask the class, what happens to this e-file? What do we now call this e-file if there are no pawns on it? John?
Open file.
Yeah, so complete open file. With white pawn still there, I can put it back if you want to, but with white pawn is still there, with no black pawn, we'll call that a half open file, and we might say that that file is half as valuable. Now the black pawn's already been gone, the white pawn is gone after this capture. This is a completely open file, and guess who has the rook on the completely open file? Black does. Bobby Fischer. Okay, so I'm sure Bobby Fischer analyzed, well, I'm going to lose my bishop on g4 anyway. I can crash in on the f3. Hey, he can crash in on h3 if you wanted to. Right? Kind of break this stuff up and then capture here. Right? That would be some interesting analysis. I'll leave that as an exercise to the reader if you're reading a book, or exercise to the audience if you're watching this video. Yes, I see a hand in the audience. Yes, you got a question or comment?
I have an answer to that question, right? That comment. If white took the pawn on h3, Black takes the pawn on h3. Black has a chance to defend his pawn on e4, giving Black a move.
Oh, well, sure. Just because black crashes on h3 doesn't mean that white has to capture back on h3. If white was analyzing deep enough, you might just see that the real action is not over here, but in the center.
Right.
All right? I see another hand in the audience. I'm glad this position is generating a lot of interest. All right? Yes, Braxton.
Earlier on, you said that about if the bishop on g4 would capture the knight on f3, then the bishop would capture it.
Could, or the pawn on g2.
Two defenders beats two attackers because the defenders go second.
Sure. Right. So that's probably the reason why, and you're correct about this, that's probably the reason why Bobby Fischer didn't want any of that mess. So he goes right for the center. So in the game, knight captures on e4, and there's two lines. There's two lines generally to figure out here. Let's look at this one. What if white says pawn captures the bishop on g4, and it's bye-bye half of black's bishop pair? Okay? Raise your hand and tell me what would you play here for black?
Why would you do that? Can't you?
If you have a question or comment, please raise your hand. Yes, Parker.
Wouldn't you just take the knight?
Okay, I see four knights on the board. Can you tell me what move you're thinking about? The never mind move. Let me see if I can find the never mind move. Nope, I can't find the never mind move. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to have a never mind chess class or a never mind chess lesson. That would be an interesting lesson, wouldn't it not? I would attend that. See what a never mind lesson would look like. Okay, we'll continue with our analysis. What move would you play here for black if white says pawn captures the bishop on g4? Braxton.
Knight on e4 captures the knight on c3 because the bishop on g7 is also attacking the knight.
Right. I think that's okay and decent enough because it forks these pieces here. The Bruce Panafini analysis shows bishop captures the knight on c3. Okay. And then if black captures back with the pawn on c3, now black can capture back with his knight on c3 and get the fork without the black knight being captured by anybody. Okay. Now white's got to respond to this. He'll probably save his queen. Queen to d2 is a decent looking move. Saves the queen and keeps an eye on the bishop, right? Notice that the black knight on c3 is indirectly attacking what very valuable white piece? Sean.
The king.
Yes! Boy, someone's paying attention out there. The black knight on c3 is indirectly attacking the white king on g1. You can convert an indirect attack to a direct attack in one move. In fact, the analysis shows that. Rook captures the bishop on e2, check. right? Check. Bishop has a rook. Knight captures the bishop on e2. Check, right? Then white doesn't want to capture the black knight on e2 because it is protected by this rook on e8. See how powerful a rook on an open file is. Why Fisher was willing to sacrifice the bishop and some other things in order to get a rook on the key, in fact, only open file in the entire game. A file has 2 pawns on it. B file has a pawn on it. B file is a half open file, not a completely open file. C file has a black pawn on it. It's a half open file. D file has 2 pawns on it. E file wide open as far as pawns go. F has 2 pawns on it. G has 3 pawns on it. H file has 1 pawn on it. So this is the only file, complete open file on the board, and black has the only rook on it. Okay. So continuing on, white decides to not trade off his queen for the knight. Get the black rook down here. King to h1. Then black is saying knight captures the bishop on f4, right? So if you have a question or comment, please raise your hand. Wait till I call on you. So it looks like white, over the last few moves here, has lost a considerable amount of material. And sure, the white queen can capture a knight on f4. So, analyzing this position, who's winning materially and by how many points? Okay, number 1, who's winning materially? And second question is, by how many points? If you've been playing these moves on your chessboard, you know immediately who's winning and immediately how many points he's winning by. Raise your hand, please. John. Who's winning?
Black.
And by how many points?
2.
2. If we say a pawn is worth 1 point, a knight's worth 3, bishop's worth 3, maybe a little bit more, 3 and a fraction, a rook's worth 5, queen's worth 9, king's worth the entire game. Yes, correct.
I think it's 2.5 because white has a backward pawn there. Has a double pawn on a G file.
These are double pawns, but they're not backwards. A backwards pawn cannot be protected by a friendly pawn ever for the rest of the game. This pawn here can be protected, and this pawn here can be protected if he moves up.
So it's a double pawn.
So it's a double pawn, but not horribly bad, because they're not isolated. If this pawn on f2 disappears, these pawns will be doubled and isolated. Then that would be kind of bad for the end game against white's pawn structure. Now, going back to the original position, if you give me a moment, back to the original position, let's look at the other line of captures. Okay. White bishop on e2. So the other white bishop on f4. White has a pawn on b2 guarding a white knight on c3. We have one more white pawn. On e4. Started this mess, right? So I think the white position is set up correctly. So black has a knight on f6. His other knight has not even moved. That's interesting. And all this exchange is right. Now is black's side correctly set up? We're set up to the original position. With black's move 12. Okay, so let's start from here. Knight captures the pawn on e4. Now what if black says knight captures knight on e4 and doesn't capture the black bishop on g4 yet? Is the black bishop on g4 still under attack? Yes. Okay. Now in this position, raise your hand and tell me what move would you play for black. You've got to consider all these lines, and Fisher surely did, before he basically sacrifices bishop on g4 and left it alone, and counterattacked with category 2 capture move of knight capture on e4. You got to see all this in your mind first before you actually do it in a chess game. Because an actual chess game at a chess tournament, once you make the move and let go of your piece, that's your move. You cannot take it back. So you got to analyze all this in your mind first. Okay, so what would you play here for black if after you playing black, knight captures e4, white takes his knight on c3 and captures back on e4? Kind of still trying to clog up the center, right? Still trying to, anyway, even though there's no pawns there anymore on the e file. What would you play for black? Only one hand raised? We have stomped the class, almost, right? That's class almost completely stomped. What move would you play here for black? Braxton.
Move on E8 to E4.
Yeah, a fast way to say it is rook captures knight. Right? There's only one rook captures knight move on this board. And if you want to say it in algebraic notation, you just say rook captures on E4. Right? It's kind of a fast way to say it, right? So rook captures on E4. Okay. Now, what if white comes back and says, well, all right, black's won the battle for the E file for now, but I, as white, will teach black a lesson. And say, bye-bye half of black's bishop pair. Right? Half of black's bishop pair is gone. Okay? What would you play here for black now? Need some more class participation. John, what would you play?
Rook takes bishop.
Yeah,
F3.
you can say rook captures white's bishop on F4. Bye-bye half of white's bishop pair. Okay? Now, analyzing this position from a, say, material points point of view, pawn worth 1 point, knight's worth 3, so on and so forth. Raise your hand and tell me who's winning and by how many points. John.
Black's winning, and he's winning by 1.
By 1 point, or 1 pawn. Correct? Everybody agree? This is how Bruce Pennyfield wrapped up the solution. He says, Bobby Fischer, a master, I want to say super grandmaster, at bypassing quotation play in favor of unearthing a hidden resource, won this game in 34 moves. That's pretty good. From one grandmaster to the other, that's a, what would you call it? A slap down city? Whatever you want to call it. But beating another grandmaster in 34 more moves. That's pretty good. Yes, okay, I see another hand in the audience. We're wrapping up the chess lesson. What's your thought?
I have a comment about this opening black after white makes a move. We'll take one of those 2 pawns, like either a pawn G4 or either the pawn B2.
Yeah, pawn on B2 is under attack by the black bishop on G7. And you say B4?
G4.
G4 is under attack by the black rook on F4, who's not finished capturing stuff. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, this black rook is probably still the strongest, probably the strongest piece on the board, even though he's not on the E file anymore. He can always go back to the E file. He's attacking 2 white pawns, still putting pressure on black's position. Well, very good, guys. Well, thank you for your participation. I hope to see you in the next video.